G'day, g'day, gentlemen.
Hey, how are you?
Good, Keegan, yourself? What should we call you, mate? Keegan, or do you have a
Yeah,
gamer
Keegan
tag?
works.
Keegan works?
Uh, yeah, Keegan works. I don't really go by any gamer tags anymore since
No.
I've started just using my name on all my social media and stuff. So,
Outgrown all that stuff, mate?
yeah.
Awesome, awesome. And Brim, how you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
Mate, fucking Wobo's coming back. Of course I'm
No.
good.
Mad considering I think it was a month and a half ago we were in one of our episodes we were looking into that as well.
Yep,
After because he tweeted out, didn't he, after
Yeah.
2 years.
yep.
And now it's all coming to fruition.
What
Frankie's coming back, Wobo's
know.
coming back.
Mr. B's
So
going to do a new diary series. Fingers
we
crossed,
fucking
maybe.
bet, eh?
What do you think when you saw or heard about Wobo Keegan?
I never really watched Wobo that much, but his videos are what got me into DayZ mod. So when I heard that, I was like, that's gonna be awesome.
Mate, pretty much, I don't think there's a single person playing DayZ other than those select few people who were, working with Dean Hall back in the day, who can't trace their origin of DayZ back to Frankie.
Yeah,
Fucking huge, mate. Absolutely fucking huge. That guy's videos, the music, his style, everything just suckered so many people in to play this game.
yeah. I mean, the way that he captured the kind of scope of the map all in one video, I thought that was better than anyone else had ever done. So
Yeah.
that's what really drew me to it.
Yeah, he was an editing genius. He really was. To be able to capture the game and the ethos of the game as well. That it's not just about killing, but about action and interaction and an adventure almost. The sort of adventure you can't get from most other games unless it's a very well written game with a great progressive path for you. DayZ, it's only what you make of it.
Yeah, I think that's really what drew me to it to begin with, right? I think it's what drew most people is that you saw this game and you're like, wow, it's like a whole world that you can explore, and then you can do whatever you want whenever you're in there.
So Keegan, everyone knows me and everyone knows Brim by now, but not many people know you. Tell us a bit about yourself, mate, and why we've asked you to be a guest on the show. I know, but let's tell everyone else out there why we've asked you to be a guest on the show tonight.
All right. Well, back when DayZ standalone modding first came out, I decided I wanted to do DayZ Battle Royale. So a little bit of backstory on that. I've been doing Battle Royale development in games since I worked with Brendan in Arma 3 Battle Royale. And when I got to work with him, and I got to see, he really, we talked a lot because we worked for, over a year together. But I got to see his thoughts on the genre. And the way that he described the game and the way that he presented it, every time he talked about it, it just drew me more and more into it. And he started with DayZ mod, right?
Yep.
So that would always come up every now and then, was like, well, here's what, how we came up with it in DayZ mod. And they'd tell me, stories about how a whole group of them came up with the game, and it's like, wow, I really wish I had been there. So whenever DayZ modding came out, I thought back on that and I was like, well, likely nobody else is going to be doing Battle Royale for DayZ, because by the time modding came out, Battle Royale was kind of fading off. So I was like, I always enjoyed Battle Royale, so I'll do it. And at that point, I'd already had so much modding experience in Arma 3. I figured jumping over to DayZ, it's not going to be too complex, and I was a little wrong there. Ran into a few issues, so it kind of slowed us down. But with DayZ expansion coming out, they gave us a great framework to build off of.
Yep.
And so I'm, even as a small, me and one or two other people, I think we can build all of VR, in a relatively quick time span and get just an enjoyable Battle Royale experience out of DayZ.
So how's it going to work? Is it going to be a set map, or is it going to move to various locations?
Yeah, so the first version we tested was kind of a variant of this. In Arma 3, I made a single player or multiplayer mission called Urban Warfare, which was like what you described, where it would move you around to different cities. And that was the first version we tested back when modding came out. It would select a random city on the map, and everyone would play in that area. And that's fun for a while. It's nice, it's quick, it's refreshing. But the ultimate goal of this version of Battle Royale that I'm making is to be full map. So you'll start in probably riding in on helicopters, and you'll be able to jump out of the helicopter whenever you want, parachute down, and then you have the whole map to work with. A few kind of issues people have brought up whenever I describe that is, the map is massive. I don't want to be walking from one side of the map to the other just to play one game, which is why having vehicles was so important. So, before expansion, vehicles weren't, they were a lot more buggy than they are in expansion, and there weren't as many. So when expansion came out and we got all those great vehicles and how well they interact with the player, it's kind of a match made in heaven. I got everything I need from expansion now. It'll be fun, but there's gonna be the whole map. You're gonna have red zones just like you do in Arma 3 Battle Royale, and I'm gonna be playing around with a few new concepts, like zombie hordes, for example.
Yep.
So one of what they did in DayZ mods Battle Royale, and I might be a little wrong about this because I haven't really talked about it in a while, but they used zombies when you were outside the zone, at least initially. So if you fell outside the zone, zombies would start spawning on you. I thought, well, it's a good idea, but it's not, the greatest idea. It's good, but I'd like to do more with zombies. And I thought, well, what's another thing we can do with zombies? Well, we can create a little area on the map, and if anyone's inside that area, we can spawn a horde on them. So it's sort of like the red zone, except instead of bombs going off, you're dodging giant groups of zombies. So there's a bunch of cool concepts. Yeah, there's a bunch of cool concepts we can play with in DayZ that I'm really excited to get into,
So how does someone go about testing this, or you're keeping it closed at the moment, or?
Yeah. So the general direction we're going to be going, initially it's going to be closed. So it's just going to be me and a few others who are going to be testing some of the core concepts. And then once we have a playable state, I'm going to be creating kind of an invite system where everyone will sign up who wants to get access to the game, and you'll get access through Steam whenever you're allowed access. It's just going to be slowly adding people as we need more testers.
And you've got a Discord that people can join?
Yes. It's all going to be on the website as well. I'm working on getting the website, kind of redesigned so it's a little more functional. But yeah, you'll sign up for it. You'll get access to the closed beta, which you won't be able to stream on, but you'll be able to take videos of.
Yep.
And eventually I'll open that up so streamers can start live streaming it more. And then after that, we'll go public. And throughout the whole development cycle, though, the files will be publicly available. So if you want to go through the effort to host your own server for your own testing purposes, you can.
I don't know about you, Brim, but it sounds interesting to me, mate.
Yeah, I love it. I love the sound of it. I mean, let's be honest. What Bohemia and everyone ended up doing with Battle Royale in the past has not been. It's not quite been up to scratch from what we would have liked. So, from what I've heard, it seems like this could be the answer we've all been looking for.
Did you actually? You sort of touched on something there, Brim. Did you learn anything from the the ones just typed it in chat? Did you learn anything from the failure of Survivor games?
Yes and no. So I was never a big fan of Survivor games, and I think it's because it was a more controlled game. It wasn't, at least, there was a lot of admin control going on through each match. I never liked that. And
a lot of what control, sorry?
Admin. So there were admins kind of flying around. They were making events happen. I didn't like that because it felt too controlled. If somebody was far away from everyone else, admins would kind of do things to force them towards everyone else. In concept, yeah, you get more action. It's probably better for a large amount of streamers all playing. But as a player, just by myself, I want to go play Survivor games and not like stream it or have a community follow me do it. That's, to me, it's not as fun of an experience. The most fun experience,
not the televised one, but the actual Bohemia interactive Survivor games game that they came out with. Did you see that at all?
That was the all kind of branch away from DayZ, right?
Yeah, it was set just north of Severograd, and then you move through Severograd and to the south of
Yeah.
It was
You'd
horrible.
go zone to zone to zone, yeah.
Yeah, it was. I was so excited because, unlike you, I was a huge fan of Survivor games. Just the hype of it and all these big name people battling it out and that, and it was just such an event. And then when they announced they're doing the standalone game, and they messed it. They messed it with the zones and all the rest of it. The zones were part of the original Survivor games. Yeah, you had to keep on moving, but it didn't do well. I played it a few times. And as bad as I am at PvP, I was never going to stand a chance of winning it. But yeah, it just sadly it all crashed, and I wondered how much you actually learnt from. Admittedly, they're quite different, Battle Royale and what Survivor games was, but yeah,
there are very few concepts for Battle Royale that people other than Brendan have come up with that I've enjoyed.
Yep.
Every Battle Royale game, and I guess you can consider Survivor games a mod, that has come out, there have been more things that I've found wrong with it because they kind of deviated from what Brendan initially thought of when he talked about Battle Royale. And I've always believed that his ideas for Battle Royale were, the pinnacle of what the genre should be. So that's, a complex, hard to play game, but a very simple one. So you don't have to think of too many concepts while playing. That's what I want to capture with DayZ Battle Royale. I want you to get into the game, relatively easy to get a gun, get a car, all that, so you can cross the map and you can compete. You're not going to be landing and being like, I'm going to die to the zone because I couldn't find a car.
So how big is the map going to be if you talk about having cars in it?
It's going to be the full map of all of Chernarus, all of Livonia.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah. So there'll probably still be, kind of the smaller city-sized combat version going around, but I want the full DayZ map in it. So you start, you get a good 10, 20 minutes where you can spawn, and you can be anywhere on the map, depending on how you parachute and where the helicopter flies you across. And then in that time period, I want you to find a gun, I want you to find a car, I want you to find ammo, and maybe some armor, if you're lucky, depending on where you drop. And from there, then it just starts doing the zoning process where you get the circle, it starts moving in, and you got to get your car and you got to drive to where you want to go loot or snipe or wherever you want to go.
Are there going to be any dynamic events that might drop better tier loot to give players the opportunity to maybe take someone out or get themselves higher tier gear? Yeah,
so I've been playing around with the concept of, instead of doing airdrops like most BRs do, doing heli crashes because it's more DayZ themed. So a helicopter would fly in, you'd get a message saying in this grid coordinate is where the heli crash is going to be. So not, an exact map marker or anything, but an idea where you can be like, oh, I'm kind of close to that. Let me go look for it. And, everybody liked finding heli crashes, so I thought that'd be pretty cool.
Question in chat: will you be keeping the hunger and damage system that the game has?
Yes, but it'll be modified.
Yep.
So I want you to have to eat maybe once if you're going to go the whole duration, but I don't want it to be like, oh, let me fill my backpack up with food or go hunting while I'm in the middle of this BR game, right?
Yep.
Though that is an interesting concept, I don't necessarily want that.
That to me would be more Survivor Games-ish, as opposed to a genuine Battle Royale. So I understand it. I think it's an opportunity to maybe look at for more maybe the thirst aspect of it, but even the hunger. But again, this is leaning more towards a Survivor Games thing because, if someone has to hunt or, converge on a world to get water, it's a chance for players to take each other out and, potentially it's a choke point. That's a natural choke point, not like you said where the admins are forcing things to happen, but it's something that the players, I'm going to need fucking water soon. So,
the difficulty with having too strong of a hunger or thirst system just becomes you don't want a lot of players dying because they couldn't find food or dying because they ran out of water. Because it's not enjoyable when you're dying to the environment versus getting shot. But in terms of the damage system, I'll probably be keeping that. It's a little complex to rework DayZ's damage system, and as well, I think it works well enough, at least for the initial version, that there's no real reason playing around with it.
Is it just going to be a single player, or is it going to be teams, duos, or?
So initially it'll be single player, but one of the concepts I'm working with is not only a queuing system where you'll just click play and it'll put you in a server with a bunch of people.
Yep.
But also teams. So at the main menu, you'll be able to invite your friend. Probably not through Steam, but you'll probably be able to add your friend by his Steam URL or ID and actually invite him to a party. And when one of you click play, it'll send you off.
Okay.
So these are all things that you can do with DayZ. They're going to be a little complex, so they're not going to be in the initial version, but they're what I want to. They're really what I want to do. I want it to be really simple and really straightforward.
And is Player Unknown advising you at all on any of this?
No. He's I'm sure he's busy, with his game and all that. I haven't been getting advice from anyone from BR for a while now.
Yep.
It's just, we all worked together for so long. We all did our own things, and now I'm kind of coming back to BR. I'm not going to go bother him or bother anyone else and say, hey, can you help me with this concept? It's something I want to do. So.
Nice. So what else do we need to know about it?
I don't really know if there's much else. It's a small little dev team, so updates aren't, at least at first right now, they aren't that frequent.
Yep. Don't
really have a timeline for when it'll be out, but I do want it to be at least in beta testing this year. It's built off of DayZ expansion, so as long as the DayZ expansion devs don't go anywhere, I don't see a reason for us to go anywhere.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm just really excited about it because I've always loved BR games.
Mate, a lot of people are. Some of the comments in chat, Foxy, Stubby, one of my regulars is in here when he heard, when I briefed him on what we were going to be talking about tonight, he's like, oh, Battle Royale, I'll hang around and hear about that. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but for those that love DayZ, and the unique style of combat that DayZ has, it's going to be a winner. Dewan in chat, he's a modder himself. He's got a basically a deathmatch server. He's probably someone, if I was you, I'd reach out to him. He might be willing to share some of the stuff he's done on it because he's done some amazing fucking reworks of the mechanics of DayZ. That works so well on his Vanilla ++ server, if you've heard of it.
I haven't heard of his server, but I've heard of Vanilla ++, and
yeah, that's his mod.
Oh, all right. Yeah. I've seen him around in the modders Discord.
Yeah, he says, "Oh, we talk."
we do, but I don't really follow what many other people like. I
Yeah.
couldn't even name all the devs of expansion, and that's the mod I'm building off of. So
Yeah. No, mate, I'm definitely going to be keeping a close eye on it. So you're in the Discord now. So if there's any updates to it and you want to jump in and just let us know, you're always welcome. Obviously, I'm not kicking you out now, mate, because we've still got so much more to talk about. And we love to get our guests' view on anything. But definitely keep us up to date on this so we can keep people who do listen to the podcast. We're still relatively small, but we're building it. And a lot of people do just enjoy the convergence of information regarding DayZ and everything about it, whether it be Battle Royale mods like you done or Wobo announcing that he's coming back. Yeah.
all right, I will. Most of the development for BR tends to be really open, so
Yep.
you'll definitely hear probably more than you want to.
No, that you honestly could not give us more than we want. We've had former guests who are always just posting information in here and stuff like that, and we're always very happy to hear about it because it gives. Brim and I, we could talk underwater with a mouthful of marbles, but it is nice when we have a topic to talk about. Hey, Brim.
Well, you're telling me.
So yeah, bloody Wobo. Wow. When I saw his tweet, I was so happy. So happy. That guy was just, he's massive in the DayZ community. One of the nicest guys in the DayZ community as well. I haven't heard anyone ever say a bad word about him.
No, I think he's, like you say, he's definitely up there in as far as, having the community's respect, and I think he's earned that. The only thing that kind of annoyed me about the whole situation was that I jumped on Twitter and saw it and was like, oh, mate, that's fucking awesome. I've got to share that to the fucking Discord for the podcast this week. And then I go to, hit the old copy button, share the tweet, get ready to go, pop on, and I see you've already fucking done it about 5 minutes before I got there.
Mate,
I was like, you sneaky sod.
I was saying it earlier. I was surprised I beat Foxy. Foxy's usually the one who is on the money with the scoops.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, just messaging.
Yeah, I had the same idea as well. I was like, oh, I wonder if Foxy's posted this yet. I haven't seen anything in the Discord. Quick, I'll jump in. Maybe I can get in before Foxy. And then lo and behold, you'd beaten both of us.
Mate, the beauty thing I've got is if you have a look further up the chat, I've got a Twitter stuff link. And I've got 2 people in there at the moment. I've been meaning to add... there's someone I keep forgetting. Every time I see it, I go, I need to add their feed to this. But I've got it so that every DayZ tweet and every Asmondian tweet get posted in that channel.
Yeah, I've noticed, yeah.
So
that's a handy channel as well.
It is, mate, even a boomer like me can work it out. A nice little bot, Carl bot, I think it might be, or something. YouTube helped me. It's the only way someone as stupid as me could work out how to do it. But yeah, it does help because it is nice seeing all these different announcements and that. So, Asmondian and DayZ, I try not to clutter it with, I put my own one as a separate one because I sometimes tweet about random shit. But for people who are, very passionate about DayZ, it's a nice little thing to set up in a Discord. So you can easily see what's being posted. But I couldn't be happier for the guy. Hey, Keegan, he left for a very sad reason, having to take care of his mums who was very ill. But it seems like hopefully things have gotten better there. The situation's resolved itself, and now he can come back to doing what he clearly loved.
Yeah, I think I remember when he left. Like I said, I didn't follow him much, but yeah, I saw whenever this tweet came out, I saw it posted in every major Discord for DayZ. I was like, wow.
Yep.
It's like as big as Frankie whenever he posted, but probably bigger actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Wobo was loved by the DayZ community. The videos he did, the stuff he talked about was so useful and so relevant, and he had that knack. There's been some great people like Rab Plays and Archie Stormcloud, but nearly everyone who was a DayZ fanboy or girl looked to Wobo's videos for guidance on, bullet penetration values and the blood system and just the amount of stuff he talked about. It just helped you understand why things happened the way they did in the game, because it's such a complex game. It can be confusing at times. Hey, Brim?
Yeah, if it weren't for guys like him coming up with things like that, and as we say quite often, Asmondian as well with his various helpful infographics, I think those guys and people like them have definitely saved a few lives in Chernarus over the years.
Definitely. But he tweeted out asking for advice on what he needs to bone up on when it comes to the game. And I mentioned those channels, Black as well. Criminally undersubbed. I say that every time. Guy's got 31 subscribers. I'm putting his channel in the chat now. But he's got videos talking about vanilla testing one hand grenade to detonate multiple simultaneously to gain entry to a base, and just some very, very good little tips. But when you go to Wobo's channel, one of the things I said to him is, as happy as I am to hear that you're coming back to DayZ, mate, with your techniques, you'd be mad not to look at doing Escape from Tarkov. Because you look at Wobo's channel, and I'll go back to his homepage now. He's got his DayZ videos, 56,000 views, 61,000 views, 27,000 views, 102,000 views. He was doing the Division when that game was massive as well. 179,000 views.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? And like you said, Tarkov's become such a popular thing recently. It seems in the last sort of year or so, it's really blown up a lot more. It's not my cup of tea personally. I've never played it, but from what I've seen, it seems to be a pretty decent game, and the numbers don't lie. At the end of the day, it's very popular, and I think I agree. I think Wobo would do quite well jumping in on a game like that, even if he never does any content from it and just plays it offline as a little something to do. You can't go wrong.
I just sorted his channel by most popular. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. The 17th video is a DayZ one. Before that, all the most popular ones is a general one, talking about survival sandbox games to watch in 2015. Then the Division, Ark. Sorry, no, I lie. There's a DayZ one. I missed it. At number 8. Ghillie Suit Guide got 278,000 views. But then you're back to Ark, the Division, Ark, the Division. So I know he was loved in the DayZ community, and he definitely did more DayZ stuff than he did anything else. But I think he's mad not to look at branching out into Escape from Tarkov. And you look at the guy who's pretty much viewed as the king of it, Pestily. Videos. Sort by most popular. 583,000 views, 432,000 views. So, yeah, he's got massive potential for another community that would... And so many DayZ players play Escape from Tarkov too. Do you play it, Keegan?
Yeah, I've been playing it since before it really blew up like it has. I've been with him for a while.
Jeez,
it's a fun game.
They did that marketing thing well with Twitch, didn't they? That game just exploded. They did, yeah. Absolutely exploded.
Yeah, I was playing back before they got BattleEye, so that was a big thing when they got that. Really cut back on cheating and made the game more enjoyable for a longer period of time.
Do you know someone who goes by the Twitch name Big Ben Redux OG?
Yeah, I know who Ben is.
I fucking knew it. I knew it. I saw the comment. I went, he's trolling you. He's trolling you. Keegan sounds 12. Give it back to him, mate. Give it back to him.
No, I'm good. I don't. Ben's all right.
Drama.
I'll get back to him later.
Start some drama. drama.
Yeah, we've been without drama for about a month now, so we're kind of itching for some more, aren't we, Boydie?
No. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I can create enough myself. I don't need anyone else to do it for me.
Yeah, Ben and I did Arma 3 mod, Desolation Redux. It was a zombie survival game as well. So
nice.
We did that for. I mean, we're still kind of doing it, but I don't develop as much for it anymore. They have a different team now.
Yeah,
it was always fun. But yeah, Tarkov is. I mean, the game is just amazing when it comes to gun mechanics.
Yep.
My only gripe with it is the character kind of movement and how well you can position your character is. It's worse than DayZ used to be. You know.
Really?
I've never. It is. Yeah. So some people will say that it's not a big deal. To me, I like games where you can like CS:GO, where you can almost pixel perfect put your character where you want him to be.
Mm-hmm.
And Tarkov doesn't give you that in the slightest, which is a real shame because everything else about the game is really well done.
Well, time will tell. Time will tell with Escape from Tarkov. I think they've got a massive audience now. They really appeal to the people who are the gun nuts of the game. And, yeah. To one saying, it feels like you were a chonky, thick fridge running around with really fucking loud boots hitting the ground noises.
That is accurate.
The next one is just a funny comment I saw. I've been dabbling in BabyNade's Island server, which is a pretty damn good hardcore server, by the way. But someone commented in the DayZ chat there, I swear I planted over 10 plots worth of plants and they never grow. And someone replied, did you water them? And it was like within minutes. So he was obviously typing his next comment. I played 4 hours and kept checking. Wait, I have to water them. And the guy replies, yeah. And then you get the face palm. And someone put the bruh meme. He just let me kill myself. I just thought it was fucking hilarious. But the reason I posted it was it's just one of those things with DayZ. I remember back in the days with the hate videos. And, people saying, they gave us fucking horticulture. Who the fuck wants to grow vegetables? Lots of people, actually. Not everyone just wants to run around and kill everything that fucking moves. Some people enjoy the other aspects of DayZ. And this was great in that this guy just planted them and thought, yeah, they'll fucking plant and they'll grow. I think I actually replied with a, it's got what plants crave meme. From Idiocracy, if any of you remember that, the Brawnade. But yeah, I just found that one quite funny.
Yeah, it did give me a little bit of a giggle. I'm not going to lie when I saw that.
Yeah, it wasn't. I want to say it was maybe 2 months ago. I started playing DayZ just more casually. That was the first thing I did. I planted, I think it was peppers or something.
Yep.
Next day I got online and they were gone and I was like, wait, why are they gone? I planted some more and I was like, do I have to water them? So I grabbed a water bottle. I was like, oh yeah, look, water.
Yep. But it's good. Yeah, it's some of the complexities of the game. They're adding stuff in there that I know doesn't make sense to some people, but to others, like the server that I was playing on tonight, DayZ Down Under, horticulture is one of the essential things of the server. They've made it hard, so it's not something you could do as a freshie, just grow yourself a crop and survive. It takes about half an hour for the crops to grow, I think, on the DayZ Down Under. But it's an integral part of the game now as a food source. You can build a greenhouse and plant your crops and that in there, and it's an ongoing food source, but it takes a lot to build a greenhouse. And yeah, it's just another great part of what makes this game so amazing.
Yeah, and I think when you've got a game that is purely survival at its core, essentially, let's think about it from a real world perspective. If we were suddenly thrown into that same situation ourselves, it would make sense that you would want to be able to, your food isn't going to last forever. You're going to need to grow some food. It's like the first thing people do in like zombie movies and things.
Yeah.
They try and get to somewhere safe, and they've always got a couple of plots with some some food growing, and I think it's like you say, it's an integral part of the game at this point.
I've been watching things about. No, I don't want to get into the politics behind that, but the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone in Seattle in America, and they've created a community garden, and I just sit there wondering, do any of them realise how long it takes some vegetables to actually be ready to harvest? Because I hope they're not relying on that feeding them tomorrow.
Yeah, and I don't think that would work in the UK because someone would just come up and piss on them for fun. It's the kind of arseholes we've got in this country.
Oh, mate, I don't think just there, mate. I think everywhere. I think everywhere would do it, but yeah. The next one, not really DayZ related unless there were DayZ streamers over there, and I wasn't really too closely following the Mixer side of things, but Mixer shutting down.
Yes. I don't even know anymore at this point. People, it's such a weird one. Like you say, I didn't follow it close enough to know whether there were any DayZ streamers on there. I know that there are very, 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 very few on DLive.
Yep.
But as for Mixer, I've got no idea. But I just can't help but think like Ninja and Shroud are the two that obviously left Twitch for big money deals. And I've got such a mixed opinion of the whole thing as far as they're concerned, because I think fair dues to them, they're phenomenal businessmen. They got their paycheck, even if this all hadn't happened and Mixer was still going. At the end of the day, they earned the right to go and do what the fuck they want and get a big payday. But at the same time, I can't help but think they just it's almost like they shit on what they had built, because they decided to take what they had built on Twitch and just go, do you know what? I can make $30 million here just by going somewhere else. I don't even have to worry now about how many followers I've got, how many subs I'm getting. Have I got people dropping me bits, donos? I don't need to worry about growing now because I've got a guaranteed $30 million as part of a contract. And I just think surely at that point you've got to think, wow, why? Obviously $30 million is ridiculous money, but it's almost like they sacrificed, the community and the people that love them for a payday. And I might be wrong on that, but it's mad. The whole situation is just absolute mental at this point.
So there are a few people streaming it right now, even on Mixer, DayZ. One guy quite cleverly, his stream title is "Follow me to Twitch TV /Mixer MX1R." But yeah, so there'll be more people streaming it on DayZ. One person has oh Jesus, wears a blue gimp suit. 242 people watching him. I'm not quite sure if I even want to click on that link.
You might want to click on that, put that in an incognito tab at this point. Don't want your missus getting onto your bloody computer and going, "Oh, Boydie, what the fuck is this you've been watching?"
But no, I couldn't agree more with him, Keegan, about the whole... it was something that pissed me off as well. I know it's business and all that, but there's a big part of me that is all about loyalty. And I totally agree with you, Brim, that they shit on them, Keegan. They did. And all the people who'd sub to them, and people in the community, like I had someone tonight, Syntax, resubscribed to me for 12 months, and he actually wrote happy 12 months. Those things matter to your community, and these guys just for the chase of an almighty dollar, and you can't tell me they weren't already earning good money. I know they've earned insane coin now, but they shit on all their people who followed them. What do you think about it, Keegan?
Well, for those that did leave Twitch to go to Mixer, I think the big ones, right? So Shroud mostly, because I watched Shroud until they moved to Mixer.
Yep.
I think that they were already too large to really keep up with their community.
Oh, definitely.
That's how I think it kind of works. Like, you start growing and you want to interact with the community, but at a certain point, there's too many people. And so you get that disconnect. And at that point, then it's like, well, your community isn't as big a pull on whether or not you switch to this new platform.
'Cause how often did he have subs only mode on?
Every other day.
But he had to, though. I understand why.
Yeah. If he turned it off, it would have been, he couldn't have talked to anyone in chat, so he had to.
Yeah.
But with Mixer shutting down, all their contracts and all that, are they going to go to Facebook now? That's something that hasn't actually been revealed, I don't think.
I know that they turned down contracts which were double what they, or this is, I don't know personally, but this is what's been reported. They turned down contracts that were worth double what Mixer had originally offered them, but that basically forced Mixer into having to pay them out. So now they're technically free agents. I assume they've got to stream until Mixer officially shuts down, or Mixer has just said, yep, you're released from your contract, go do whatever. So now they can... but I did watch there's a channel I talk about every now and then, Devin Nash, and he's a marketing sort of guy who floats around the streaming industry and YouTube and all the rest of it. And he was basically saying that he personally feels that Twitch is not going to throw buku dollars at them to get them to come back, because YouTube doesn't need to offer them big money either. And he talked about the numbers. And whilst Twitch has the majority of the market, YouTube is getting insane numbers. And YouTube has one advantage over Twitch in that YouTube has a steady audience of people. Twitch's audience mainly comes from the fact that it was the first kid on the block. The first, successful streaming service for streaming video games and God knows what else, body painting and all the rest of the weird stuff they do. But YouTube is still growing. YouTube is still getting more and more people tuning into it. And I see it. I don't watch YouTube streams. I don't like the interface. I just don't like the way that they've set it up. But once they polish it, oh damn, it's going to be big.
Yeah, I think the same thing with Mixer. I streamed on Mixer a bit.
Yep.
As a streamer, I really liked Mixer more than either of the two others, because I've streamed on all three of the platforms, yep. YouTube, Twitch. So I liked how Mixer handled the streamer side, but Twitch has always had the best, viewer experience. So yeah. I think that really goes a long way towards me and a lot of others preferring Twitch over the other platforms. But YouTube has so much money, they can just funnel cash into improving it over and over again.
It just surprises me, though, Brim, that they've never done that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Keegan. I think, Twitch is a very community-focused streaming platform. Like you say, with your subs and your bits and your, with channel points and things like that. And when you look further back into things like streaming software such as Streamlabs OBS, I know me and you both use that, Boyd, and we've both got the loyalty program set up on that for points and stuff. And when you get down to that, obviously it is very community focused, whereas I think, like you say, with YouTube, it's such a big company that's mostly focused on the upload of videos rather than the live streams. I think Twitch is definitely a lot better suited for the live streaming market. And fair dues to Mixer for giving it a go, but I think it's going to be very interesting to keep a close eye on the whole situation over the next, certainly I would say over the next year or so. I think there's going to be quite a lot of big changes coming to all platforms. It's going to be very interesting to see where the whole industry is.
I was surprised, though, that they threw the towel in, Keegan, because they were backed by Microsoft. And talk about a company that's got bucket loads of cash as well. Now you've got YouTube, which is Google or Alphabet, Twitch, which is Amazon, Mixer was Microsoft. I thought we're genuinely going to have a third contender, but they just fucking threw the towel in. It's shocked a lot of us.
Yeah, but I mean, with the partnership with Facebook, I mean, now Facebook might become the third competitor. So yeah, it was surprising to me too, but I don't think anything major is going to kind of happen. I think we're going to continue down the same direction that we were going down with Mixer as like the big platform that was growing. I think that's just going to switch over to Facebook now.
Time will tell, because at the moment it's still predominantly, well, it is still Twitch at about 60-something%, and YouTube has about 20-something%, and the others, DLive and BitChute and Mixer and Facebook Gaming make up the rest of it. So it's really one big kid, one upstart contender, and then a bunch of wannabes. So time will tell. Time will tell. Fubar Bundy now has a server up. Fubar's
Not a bad
DayZ
server either.
Yeah, I was going to play it tonight, but and I hate to say it because I love Bundy, but before I even jumped on, I got told that it was infinite stamina, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I got told it's a 10-minute night cycle, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, see, I'm a fan of the infinite stamina personally, because I'm a lazy prick and I haven't got time to sit here and wait for my character to slump around. I want to be able to sprint full bore and get from point A to point B. I can't be dealing with it. So infinite stamina for me, and especially with expansions auto run as well, it just comes in so handy. But yeah, I was a bit surprised with the nighttime thing as well, and it wouldn't have bothered me too much because within about half an hour being on the server, I was lucky enough to find some NVGs and a battery. So, it wouldn't have been too much of a problem. But from what I've seen so far, it's, from my time playing on the server, it's really well. It's been done good. And I mean, it's, from what I can tell, I think it's hosted in Australia. Yeah. And I don't know what your ping shows up for it, Boydie, because obviously
57.
You're in Australia, but yeah, see, here in the UK, my ping was over 300. So, it was an interesting experience. Some people were saying I was sliding around like I was on ice, but for me on my end, it was running as smooth as one could possibly hope for a DayZ server to run. So I cannot think of a single complaint that I could put in from everyone that I met at the trader safe zones and stuff. No one was an arsehole or anything. Everyone was really decent community on there so far.
To meet Fubar Bundy?
Well, to an extent, yeah. I mean, I don't think I've ever been in one place for long enough to notice so many Australian accents. But yeah, it was really cool. Like I say, he seems to have a really well working server at the moment, and there seems to be a really good little community on there at the moment. So fingers crossed it'll continue as it is now.
At least they don't sell gear for PayPal dollars like most top servers, Kappa. Oh, that oh god, have you heard of that, Keegan?
I've known about it for a while. That was a big thing in Arma 3 with their monetization policy.
Yep.
But personally, I'm not a fan of strict monetization, especially when they did it in Arma 3. I watched as Arma 3 kind of, the community just evaporated because of it. But DayZ's had it since inception, so that, the monetization policy.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't see a reason for anyone to change away from it. But when Arma 3 made that decision to go that direction, I thought it was a mistake.
So you don't mind the people being able to buy stuff for cash?
No, I mind it, but I don't think that servers should be forced to not do that. If you look at like Rust, a friend of mine runs a modded Rust server, and one of the big parts of his income is from selling essentially gear. And some people don't enjoy that, so they don't play his server. And some people don't mind it, so they do. I think a community should have that choice, and it should, unless it really causes legal options with the company that creates the game shouldn't kind of dictate that.
That is interesting. I do wonder if there would be issues for them monetarily Straight away you can just think of the little kid who gets his hands on mum or dad's credit card and clocks up a whole bunch of fucking M4s and scars and a chopper and all the rest of it, and mum's wondering why the hell their son's kidding himself out for the boogaloo. You look at DDU, they've actually got a donation bot. This is the way I like it personally, is that you donate to support the server that you like playing on. And I've got no idea, I could probably add it up and see how much they've got coming in, because as you probably know, both Brim and Keegan, it does cost money to do a server. Not just money, but time, and that's time the person would be taking out of their life. And I've got no issue with people being compensated, but I don't know, just the whole buying stuff on a server, it almost turns it to pay to win, and
Yeah, I think that's the big thing. I think, like you say, the whole idea of pay to win, I think there is a right way of doing it. And I think for me personally, and this is just my personal opinion, I think the right way of doing it is have, what a lot of servers have is donator clothing, for example. Yep. So, you donate, say, $10 a month, and for that you get, a custom field jacket, cargo pants with your logo, if you're a streamer, for example, on there, things like that. I think that's fine. But when it comes to things like having access to weapons and things like that, I mean, it's all well and good having having a cool skin on a weapon and what have you, but it's such a grey area. I think there needs to be a bit of a limit on it. And like you say, having a jacket or a pair of trousers, or maybe a custom food item like a can of beans
with on a gun that you can buy from a trader or whatever.
Yeah, but as long as you're not actually being given weapons, and it being that pay to win where, you pay X amount per month, and for that you're getting this weapon that has a higher damage to all the other ones that the regular, the non-donators on the server have access to, that I think would be going a bit too far. But I haven't heard of a server really offering that. So I think it's like I say, it's a bit of a grey area, but as long as it's done right and it's done carefully, I can't see an issue with it.
See, Keegan, my mind works in a weird way. I'll talk about something and I'll have my opinion on it, and then I start to think of a but what if? And my but what if now, which I imagine you probably will agree with, is so you've got someone like me. I've got plenty of time on my hand. I'm pretty much retired, so I'm able to jump on and grind out the hours to get it. But you get a guy who will say he's a lawyer, and he works 50, 60 hours a week doing his job, and on the weekend he likes to play some DayZ. One thing he does have is a lot of cash. He doesn't have a lot of time, but he does have a lot of cash. So who are we to say that he can't join a server, spend $20 and get himself kitted out, spend $20 of real money, get himself kitted out, or get in-game currency or whatever, and go and play the game the way he wants. And I think that sort of ties in to what you were saying about servers need to be just let to do their thing. Is that sort of where you were going with it?
Yeah, that's the player perspective of it. For me, the server owner perspective is the one that I identify with more.
Yeah.
Like my friend that runs a Rust server, he makes enough money off that's his job. All he does is administer and develop for his Rust server. And I think if you let server owners choose how they want to make their income, some will choose that they want to go the direction where they sell in-game currency or items or whatever, and some will choose donations. But you'll open the door for people who say, I want to run this server as a job, and I want to do that every day, all day, for 6 days a week, 7 days a week. And I think you'll see more development come out of that server, and you'll see that server actually do better than a lot of other servers, just because now the owner and everyone who's working with him kind of has more time to focus on it. And it's not just, I do this as a hobby, this is what I do in my free time. It's not their free time anymore. This is what they do. I think that's something that you should at least let people have the opportunity to do.
See, it'd have to be carefully managed, though, Brim, because The issue I see is, we'll use our lawyer friend again. We'll call him Dave because Dave's a dick. What he likes to do is spend $100 and go and buy 20 C4 fucking charges and just go and fuck over the person who doesn't have the money and grind it. So you'd have to manage it very carefully, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and I think that's basically what I was talking about beforehand. Is like you say, having an item of clothing with your, preferred logo or camouflage on it or something like that. I think that is absolutely fine. If you want to spend 20 quid or $20 or whatever your currency is on an in-game item that doesn't give you an advantage over anybody else, then fine. That's your money. You do with that as you see fit. You worked hard to get that. But like you say, if you can go into a server, drop $20 and buy a bunch of C4 and then go and raid someone, well, that is obviously that's out of the question, in my opinion. I think that becomes pay to win then, and that becomes, using money to have an unfair advantage over other players. And I think that's where the line should be drawn, in my opinion.
What I think about that is, if a server lets players do that, that's going to happen every single day, because there's always going to be someone who wants to piss everyone else off. And so that server is not going to have a large player base. It's not going to succeed. That's the way I see it. So the way that a friend of mine mitigates that is he uses a kit system, where every day you're able to get one kit, depending on what you bought. And that kit has a set amount of items that you get.
That's good.
And that doesn't give them too many explosives. So they have to play, 5-6 days before they have enough explosives to go raid one base. So, yeah, if you're playing by yourself and you're not spending the money on kits, you're not going to have as enjoyable of a time. But at the same time, if everyone, buys one kit, $20 kit, they're all going to be on an even playing field, because it's not going to be one of them spends it on guns and another one spends it on explosives and just blows up whatever the guy with guns has. It's more balanced that way. So I think, regardless of policing it or not policing, how the community manages spending money, the servers that have the best payment model will always do better.
So just bringing up the monetization rules now, they're quite strict. You can't basically legally do what we're talking about here on DayZ servers, can you?
No, you'll be blacklisted by BattlEye, and your server will not appear in the server list.
So charging players to access your server if the fees and associated perks do not affect gameplay in any way is allowed. Limiting access to only paying players is allowed. Servers with access limited to paying players must be on a different hive or have rules and settings identical to the freely accessible servers. Product placement, in-game advertising and sponsorship is allowed. Accepting donations is allowed, but to avoid any doubts, not providing donations must not prevent anyone from accessing the content. Selling of in-game items that don't affect gameplay and selling of cosmetic perks are allowed. Applicable only to servers with mods after modding support has been added to DayZ. Please remember that these rules do not apply to public hive DayZ servers or the DayZ mod. And yeah, you have to actually apply for to be monetized as well, which a lot of people don't know.
Yeah, thing is, there's so many ways around that, though.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone was to, like you say, that I like that bit where it says selling of in-game items that don't affect gameplay and selling of cosmetic perks are allowed. Like, that's what we were just saying. If you want to spend 20 quid and have your logo as a streamer or whatever on a jacket on a server that you play on the most, then happy days. But obviously they're saying you can't pay to have an advantage over others by buying a bunch of C4 or good guns. But it's such an easily circumvented rule, because all someone has to do is say to an admin of that server, look, if I donate to you $20, will you spawn me in that 50 cal?
Yeah.
And I mean, as long as you're, as a server owner, you're someone with a bit of fucking integrity in you, you won't do that. And you'll say, no, if you want to get that, you have to go to the military base, you got to loot it, you got to find it yourself.
Sounds
No
like
perks
there's
like
servers
that.
that don't have that integrity, mate.
But yeah, unfortunately, I think there's always going to be one or two arseholes that kind of ruin it for the 99% of other servers and server owners that do it the right way.
Yeah, I just think without a monetization policy, those people the server owners who do it kind of behind the scenes would start doing it up front. And I think that their payment models would likely be worse than people who don't agree with, removing the monetization policy. People who think it's there for a good reason. I think those people will have better payment models and subsequently better servers because of it. But
the one said a good point though. You can't really compare Rust to DayZ, as Rust is a base raid game. Survival realism is not that big in that game.
Yeah, he's right about that. But the payment model itself between Rust and DayZ can be compared. The items themselves might change. So in Rust, you might get building materials and not as many weapons, but maybe more explosives in their kits. In DayZ, you might get food, water, basics. So when you first spawn your character, you can get your kit and you're good to go for the next 2 hours.
Yeah.
DayZ and Rust, yeah, they're different games, but the payment models can be compared.
The next topic is a video from Chris FPS, who I absolutely love, part of the BWOF community, but I'm not sure I like the mod. An A10 Thunderbolt.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Wee Devil's got some fucking cool stuff on his server. There's a reason the Blue Waffle server is one of the best and one of the biggest out there. It's there. It is that for a bloody good reason. I think when it comes to things like, like an A10 and things like this, when it becomes, it's cool to look at. It's cool to see what's possible.
Yes.
I know during the expansion testing, they did have a fighter jet as well, but they said that was literally created just as a proof of concept to be like, look, this is what we can do. We're not releasing this, but here's a little bit of a showcase, bit of a big dick swinging situation, and I'm all for it, fair dues. But I think when it comes to things like that, if you've got a server where, I'd be pissed off if I was running around. I've just run around for an hour. I've made it to Northwest Airfield, got some decent loot. It's taken me ages, and then all of a sudden, a fucking A10 Warthog strafes me and sends me back to the coast. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would look up and go, "Wow, that's fucking cool." But then I'd get that, you are dead, and I'd be like, as cool as that was, that's an hour down the shitter. I'd be livid.
That's funny. What do you think, Keegan?
I think it's just cool, but I agree with that. It doesn't have a place in the game, but just as a concept and something to mess around with, I think it's one of the coolest things I've seen in a while.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. It is cool as fuck, but even practicality-wise, like the speed of that fucking thing, you'd be across the map in like 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's a rapid-looking bit of kit.
And yeah,
I think it's quite good with the fact that obviously they can put on events and stuff. Having it as a special effects situation for doing events on the server for YouTube videos and things like that. I think it's absolutely perfect. But I wouldn't like to see it being able to be just bought and used by anyone at any time. Even if you put it so that you have to have fucking 10 gajillion rubles to afford it. It's having your average person be able to use it and have it at their base or whatever I think that's a bit much. Using it for events and good videos, by all means.
I do have to say though, I think, Keegan, that I can see there's a little evil, the devil on my shoulder sitting there going, could you imagine flying that fucker and strafing freshies on the coast? Just watching them run along the fucking road from
Here it coming and they're just sprinting.
Yes. Just watching them run up into the hills or out into the ocean, and there's a little bit. But yeah, Ben's just said in chat, beauty is now that we all have servers to suit our player choice. Our server is nutty as fuck, so people enjoy this stuff. And as just mentioned, a lot of it is more for events. Yeah, like I said, Ben, I'm not a personal... Like, if I saw this on DayZ Down Under, a hardcore server, I'd be like, what the fuck? But on the crazy servers, fucking have at it. It would be hilarious. Just imagine though, you've just built yourself a nice big base on top of fucking Skyrim or something like that, and then this bastard comes along and drops a bomb on your base and destroys the whole fucking thing with one bomb.
Yeah, that's straight up rage quit territory at that point.
Oh.
That's full on like uninstall, go fuck yourself situations there. But I mean, like you say, Chris's video is absolutely brilliant, and Chris is a very talented content creator, and he's really stepped up his game, it seems, over the last few months as well. And I'm all for it, absolutely all for it. Like you say, Ben's got such a great server. Yep. I've been part of events on that server before, over the last few years, it on and off, and it's just there's so much possibility for so many cool things that I think it's brilliant to see. It really is.
He said he just added an Mi-24 attack heli that can chop down trees with the cannons. And Noble, I'm doing well, mate. Thank you so much. But yeah, an Mi-24 attack heli. That I'm a little bit more interested in. I saw that on Twitter. That would that looked pretty mean, to be fair. I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of any of it. But no, again, I love what they're able to do in the game now. It's just fucking amazing. Absolutely fucking amazing. The stuff that's coming out, there's still a lot of life left in this old girl yet. I did like this tweet from Twitter. So there's a clip here.
Yeah. Oh, I see one. Attacking. Dead. Got him.
Really nice. What?
It's that strike killed strike.
Yeah, same.
Is there another strike? But oh my god, imagine being killed 2 seconds before the server reloads. Imagine. You're just sitting there like, I'll just wait.
Now, the clip itself is good, but it's the response from the DayZ Twitter team. This guy is probably tweeting at us right now asking why the hell he spawned without his stuff on a beach after a simple server restart. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Oh, I see one. I see one.
I fucking loved that.
Attacking.
Absolutely loved it. It's just another example of how good... yeah, but I did like Strike's response there. It was a heavily modded server on expansion. Just tell him it's the mod's fault.
Yeah, if in doubt, blame somebody else.
Yeah.
It's just the way forward. Yeah, no, to be fair, I kind of feel for that guy. I'm one of those, I'm very, very aware of my surroundings and of snipers in DayZ, because it seems to me over the years that sniping and any sort of long distance engagement seems to be quite meta 9 times out of 10. So I am always very careful. If I go into a building, the first thing I do is I just go prone inside if I've got to sort something out, because I think I'm bound to, just my sod's law, my luck, I will get my head taken off and there'll be fuck all I can do about it.
I love having to one in chat, Keegan. He's just said, yeah, blame the people who spend free time creating free work for nerds to play.
That's how it works out. And then we go and we say, no, it's not our fault. It's the developers of DayZ's fault.
Yeah.
Just back and forth.
Now,
I've had it so many times. It's people just love to bitch and moan about the about free stuff and it not working.
Yeah. Fucking hope. Why can't they?
Well, yeah.
This next one, it's a bit of a serious point. I wasn't even sure whether to bring it up, but I thought, no, we're going to bring it up. There's a Twitter handle out there that calls itself... oh, no. Let me try to get it up again. DayZ Community. Is the tweet gone? Replying to...
From what I can see, it looks like it's saying this tweet is from an account that no longer exists. So it's looking to me like that DayZ Community that posted that has now deleted their Twitter.
So they put this up. Now, I don't want to get into the politics of it or nothing like that, but when you run an account called DayZ Community, and it's, yes, I know I can be bad on Twitter as well, but for fuck's sakes, think about it. The fact that the dev team had to fucking do a tweet to make it absolutely clear that this unofficial Twitter account does not represent the DayZ dev team or anyone at Bohemia Interactive.
Yeah,
Now,
the fact that had to be explained
because someone
is
replied.
Mental.
Someone replied thinking it was official.
Yeah, that's what worries me. That's what worries me, is the fact that someone saw that and went, well, that's definitely clearly going to be the official DayZ account. There's no blue check mark on Twitter or anything. This is just a random post popped up, but this is definitely legitimately DayZ. I've got to mention something. You think, no, you can clearly see that's not, the DayZ thing. Like, he even tagged the official DayZ Twitter in it, saying, oh, I don't agree with this. And you're like, how can you get it so wrong that you even tagged the people that didn't make it? It just blows my mind that people don't take 3 seconds to read and notice that it's clearly a separate account. Yeah.
And Dewan's right there, Keegan. He thinks the reply is just bullshit as well, that they're just trying to stir shit up. We all know how Twitter works.
Yeah, I think if it was me doing that reply, I probably would have tagged DayZ as well. So I don't know if it really was a bullshit reply.
Yeah.
Just because, like, if you look at Arma 3, Arma 3 has multiple Twitter handles. If you're trying to get a reply, you tag all of them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of sad that this is something that the official DayZ Twitter had to respond to.
Now I've got another clip for us to watch. Rab Plays, who's a regular of the stream, did a fucking 200 IQ play.
What a play as well. Good old Rav just coming in clutch.
Killed him. What a poor bugger. He would have thought, I've got the high ground, and I've got it, and he got outplayed. But it got me thinking. Back a while ago on the Greens Beans server when it was going, we had one of our potential guests in here, Stubby, did a raid on someone, and he did through Windows as well. That not a lot of people, particularly if you're not a raider, if you're just a survivor who likes to build a little base and doesn't raid other people's bases, you don't know that you can actually get through these windows. So there was a discussion on there, and I've always been of the philosophy that, well, the DayZ dev team are obviously aware of it. If they didn't want you to do it, they would have done something about it. But that was an assumption I made. And I actually tweeted Adam, Franku and DayZ and asked them, this brings up an interesting discussion I have had. Things like this can be used for base rating. Is it intentional designed by you that these windows and others like it are enterable by players? Or is it an oversight? Some call it glitching, others legitimate. And it is definitely a glitch and an oversight. Yeah, but it is a cool bug. Oh. Has Adam deleted his response? I should have screenshotted it. Adam did respond to it. And he basically said that it was to do with weapon collision and grenades and stuff like that. It's not something they ever intended, was for people to be able to enter like that. Did he maybe reply?
That sounds about right.
No. He must have deleted his response. But yeah, I remember what he said, thankfully. But yeah, no. And you see a comment here, you would 100% be banned on Doug for this. Well, okay, I probably need to message the Doug team because I did that on Doug probably about a week and a half ago. Climbed in through a window.
I saw that, you naughty boy.
Ugh.
To be fair, until Rav put that clip out, I didn't even know it was possible. So, but then again, that it's me at the end of the day. So take it with a pinch of salt either way. But yeah, the fact that that's possible just proves why when I'm base building, I just block up everything. I make my base is like Fort Knox just in case. But I mean, you can't be mad at that. Like you say, that's a 200 IQ play. To be on the receiving end of that must be fucking annoying. But GG to Rav for that, because that is actually a really clever little play.
Ben saying on BWOF you'd get a GG. Keegan, did you see the new DayZ trailer?
I saw a bit of it. I didn't watch the whole thing. I got about 3/4 of the way in, and I clicked away.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool little trailer, but I didn't feel the need to watch the whole. It's a long one. I didn't feel the need to watch the whole thing.
Imagine waking up in the dirt, only to discover you are right in the middle of the post-apocalypse. Well, that just became your reality. Welcome to the end, where only one rule matters. Stay alive no matter what. Find food, water, and protection, then head inland for more supplies. From now on, loot is life. But be wary. Isn't just hunger, thirst, and illness that's a hazard to your health. Get cornered by infected, and you will be ripped to shreds in no time if you're not prepared. Biggest threat, however, are the survivors. Friendlies are few, and strangers are more likely to turn you into human steak. Yep, your fellow man is out to get you. The end of the world just brings out the worst in people, I guess. Survival isn't easy. It will test your endurance, your patience, your will to live. It'll beat you, break you, and strip you of everything if you let it. But not all is doom and gloom. Life in the apocalypse is liberating if you give it a chance. No unnecessary rules to follow, and no one telling you what you can do. You can become whatever you want. So, what's it gonna be, Survivor? This is DayZ. This is your...
Where is this? I don't recognize this location. Do you guys?
No.
So is this a little Easter egg?
The water tower kind of makes me feel like Tanoa from Arma 3. That's where I get that vibe from that, but nothing else about it seems familiar.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it could be a new area of some description.
Because they've done it before. They've dropped reveals in trailers. You know, the V3S truck, the suppressor on SVD from the last trailer they did. Sorry, the ones just said something. Going back to the previous topic, he deleted his reply, I think, because he was speaking of an old bug that was later fixed with Windows. The hitbox would have issues blocking nades and stuff. I just tested. It seems like Red House Windows had this issue, maybe a few other models too. So that adds some context to why Adam may have deleted his tweet. But yeah, back to this. That was I've got the attention span of a gnat, but I didn't recognise it, and someone commented on it, and yeah, it's maybe this is a new map they're working on.
Even if it's just a new location that they add to Chernarus or Livonia, to be fair, I'm easy with anything. To be fair,
I don't know, Keegan. I would actually like them to see a DayZ specific map. Maybe even something new. I know there's a lot of hype around some of the older maps from Arma 2 and that, and Arma 3. But I think an actual map that is 100% new and authentic, created with DayZ in mind, would be very well accepted by the community, even if you had to pay for it. But I think that's affected Livonia a bit. But what do you think?
I agree. I think the most difficult part about building a new map for DayZ is going to be capturing all the details that they've gotten so right with Chernarus. and Livonia. Just you're walking through the woods, and every area feels unique on both those maps. So that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I hope they come out with another map. That'd be really awesome. But yeah, even a new area, it'd still be something. There'd be so much detail there. You could spend a whole day going through it and finding new things.
Well, Ben and Dewan both think it's just cool art, an artist's impression. But I hope you're both wrong. There, I've said it.
Oh, drama's starting to creep up.
Speaking of drama, a reply, Don Sibley screenshotted this for us. Wasting money with the trailer being made when you could have been putting it towards broken limbs. Shake my head, DayZ. And DayZ, again with the awesome response. Our marketing people are not coding broken limbs.
Yeah, I mean, just like you say, as always, whoever's in charge of the DayZ Twitter account at the moment, just killing it on a daily basis at this point. It's just getting beyond a joke now. It's you can't help but love it. You cannot help but love it.
And this is, they actually did a screenshot. That's beautiful art at the end. Mind sharing that on its own. We'll officially share it later. This one is just for you since you asked nicely. And there's that artwork. So they kind of do confirm it a bit that it's art, but there are a lot of comments. That doesn't look like any of the maps we've got. Is this some type of spoiler for a new map? Reminded me of Namolska bit, Rap Play says. I've never played it, but been watching some videos of it, and that type of buildings are there. It's just art. There have been others with items there which are not in the game. Don't think it's meant to be an exact representation. Neither Chernarus nor Livonia maps have these buildings. Are you secretly working on another map? So there's a little bit of hype there, which is, regardless of whether it's true or not, holy crap, that artwork is amazing. Yeah, it is. It's beautiful artwork. But we shall see. We shall see. I'll link that tweet in case anyone wants to copy that image, put it on their PC or something. But it's beautiful artwork. It really is. Me, I'm going to live in hope. As a DayZ fan, you have to live in hope, though, don't you guys?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that's one of the best things about DayZ as well, is that even if whether you're in game or not, like, it's such a beautiful game. Like the way it looks. I mean, my background wallpaper on my PC has been a screenshot that I took far out west. Funny enough, if I'm not mistaken, on the Blue Waffle server about 2 years ago.
Yep.
And it's just, I'm quite proud of the fact that I was somewhat smart enough to get such a decent screenshot. But it's such a beautiful game. There's so many areas that it just lends itself to beautiful artwork like that being made from it.
It does, doesn't it, Keegan? Just some of I do love when the official DayZ account does their Twitter things with their postcards, my DayZ, all the rest of it, and people just send in. Some of them are talented with their Photoshop editing and stuff like that, but even just running around in the game, especially if you've got a 4K monitor, fuck, it's a beautiful game, Keegan.
It is. Ever since they, got the new engine, the new lighting system, it has just been. It's so unique, and like you guys said, it's screenshot worthy everywhere.
The one just gave me a good. Okay, guys, who gave the freshie an SVD? That's a good.
And again, another great DayZ Twitter reply there as well. The graphic designer.
Did I just
such a sarcastic response?
I'm glad you linked that one, Dewan. I always worry. One of these days, the one, I'm going to piss him off and he's going to send me through a porn link or something and I'm going to get fucking banned from fucking Twitch for 7 days or something. He'd probably just do it for the shits and giggles, the bastard. But yeah, he always says, he sent through the thinking fucking, yeah. And here's Wobo's actual tweet. We talked about it earlier. But I'm coming back to content creation in a month and I'll be focusing on DayZ because I haven't played since my charity stream in 2018. I know almost nothing about 1.0 plus. What do you think I should be aware of since the release of DayZ 1.0? 464 hearts, 35 retweets, 83 comments. The genius is back. Yeah. People are happy. people are happy that he's back.
How can you not be? Let's be honest. You know, it's like I say, it's a great time to be in this community now. You know, things are progressing forward. You know, and it almost seems like it's for the first time in a long time. And to see a lot of guys like Wobo, Frankie, other guys who have been away from the community for a while to start coming back, just like you said, like we say every week, Boydie. You know, there's life in this old girl yet, and I think this is just going to prove it at this point.
We're getting near the end of it, but there was a tweet I saw in a comment thread that I was talking about people with. What was it from? So I said we're lacking a decent DayZ first-person modded server that isn't hardcore, one that is for wanting action, one for those wanting action or factions, etc. In Australia, we're very limited because of our smaller player base as well. And yada, 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 yada. The conversation went on. We were talking about another server, and Jared, or Spectakill, said, yeah, the problem is that the game isn't popular enough. Most people I talk to still think DayZ is the same as it was 3 years ago and refuse to hear that it's actually quite good now. I would love more servers down under. And I actually retweeted it because that is something I think that... and now that we've got someone who really seems like he's invested in marketing this game to the best of its ability. Guys, do you hear that much yourself, Keegan? From people saying, oh, DayZ, are you still fucking working on that piece of shit?
Yeah, I hear that, and when I say it's DayZ Battle Royale, I hear it twice, so...
But do you agree, Keegan, that they need to do something to... what I had in my mind was, you know, Frankie's coming back. Frankie still has 3 fucking million subscribers, I think. And if he does a video, all these people who are still subbed to him are going to be like, what the fuck? And I know that, you know, their coffers aren't unlimited, but I honestly feel that they could spend some money and do get him to do a feature on it. Because I still remember watching the video. I talked about it last week or the week before. So he's got 3.5 million subscribers. I don't think anyone in the DayZ community has got anywhere near that. You look at the Running Man. He's got... where's his channel?
He's got to be getting close, surely.
164,000. Minder is another massive one. I think Minder's got more, to be honest. Oh, I was sitting there going, what the hell? 216,000. So these guys have got decent reaches, but you know, there's still 3.5 million people who subscribe to Frankie on PC in the hopes that he'll one day come back, which he said he is. So why don't they do something with him where they fly him to fucking Prague and get him to talk about it and be honest and say, I walked away from this game back when it was in early access because it was shit. It wasn't fucking playable to my standards, yada, yada, yada. And they can showcase where the game's at now. They need to do something because, like you said, Keegan, you know, you're getting it twice for Battle Royale and DayZ. There's still so many people who think the same.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that's, I think as more content creators start to get back into DayZ, that it'll slowly start to change, but just trying to sit down with someone who hasn't played DayZ since like 060, 062.
Yeah.
You know, trying to convince them to just get back on the game, play it for a couple hours and see what they think. They just think, I'm going to play for 2, 3, 4 hours and it's going to be the same experience. And no, they don't really want to spend that much time just to get the same experience they had back then, which, you know, we all know that's not what they're going to get in there and they're going to be like, wow, this is amazing. How far it's come along.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to convince people. I think Frankie is a big step towards that. And I really like your idea. Getting him to come in and do something kind of officially with DayZ itself would really go a long way.
Pay him, fucking start a Kickstarter. I'm certain those of us who love the game would all chip in fucking $5 each and to pay the great Frankie to make a video that's just he doesn't have to blow wind up its ass, but just tell people how much it's changed. I don't know if Ben's still around, but Ben said that he was quite impressed. Ben from Blue Waffle spent a week ago the morning with him and Sada, showing him the expansion mod and just what's changed in DayZ, and apparently he was quite impressed by it all.
Yeah, and I think, like you say, I think it's a great idea to, like you say, get him out to Prague, get him to do a, like you say, don't blow smoke up it, but, be honest. And it would be nice to see like a video edited in such way that it shows a before and after. So for various features such, well, even if something as simple as the movement, just walking down the road and show, look, this is how clunky it used to be. This is how, how your character used to move. Now you run around like this, and then insert some footage of current way of running around and
remember
things like that.
You just have to run around the wall. Not anymore. Now you can vault over it.
You can hop over it. Yeah. And do like a before and after thing of a handful of features, and then, like you say, just market the absolute bollocks off of it, and before you know it, it's suddenly everyone's opinions are going to be changed. If you can get a good amount of marketing out of it, you're just laughing. Then you're just going to have everything you need.
Because DayZ's a game that's got longevity, Keegan. Fucking the one. I have made such a video. Can I share it? Of course you can, the one. Of course you can, mate. Well, provided there's no copyright music in it, I'll play it with audio at the end of the stream. But, God, now I've forgotten what I was talking about. He scares me, the one does. He scares me so much. No copyright. But what was I saying? He fucking derailed my train of thought. No, it's not porn. Now I've got porn on the brain. What? Oh, God, I've totally derailed my train of thought. What did you just finish saying, Brim?
I was saying it would be nice to see if like say if they're going to fly Frankie out or whatever else, to get like a before and after to see this is how things worked beforehand. This is what everyone is used to. And what we all sort of have seen for years, but actually now that's changed. That's not the same. Like you say, you can now hop over a wall rather than having to spend 20 minutes running around something. So that there's a clear definition of what was and what now is, showing how well the game has progressed over the last couple of years.
I'm showing how much of a boomer I am right now, Keegan, in that I forgot what I was saying 5 minutes ago, but I remember now, in that DayZ's a game with such longevity. Other games, you play it, you finish the campaign, you finish the mission, and you're generally not going to play it again. Maybe a couple of years down the road you might, but DayZ's one of those games where there's mods like you're coming up with, there's servers like Blue Waffle, there's servers like DayZ Down Under, servers like DayZ Underground, where the experience differs so much, all based off of this one amazing game. And if they can bring back, 20%, 30%, maybe 50% of all the people who bought this game, then this player base will just swell massively. Yes, it'll make it fucking hard to get it on our favourite servers, but there's still so much potential in it, isn't there?
Yeah. I mean, they got console players now. Modding is eventually going to come to consoles. There's so much room for growth, and the game just lends itself to that, to being able to have huge swings in players as content gets created and then kind of slows down. We're just hitting that point where so much content's getting created. It'll be so exciting to finally see the player count start to rise and rise and rise, and I think it will. I think it's going to get going pretty well over the next couple months as people start to see expansion and all these great servers that are out there.
Yep.
It's exciting.
You mentioned something then that I want to talk on, and it's just a topic that's just literally popped up because of something you said. Modding will come to console. So for the idiots like me, what sort of modding will be possible on console? Do you have an understanding of that, Keegan?
So I've had one friend tell me about kind of the console modding work. He knows a bit more than me. We've gone back and forth. He wants to get me and a few others early access to it. I don't think he's going to be able to, but I think the end goal really is to have the same modding solution that we have on PC on console. So anyone who wants to play like DayZ expansion can play with their friends from console as well. I'm fairly confident that's the end goal of it all. And
Cross-platform.
Yeah, cross-platform.
Oh, fuck yeah. I might be able to finally kill someone.
I'm hoping that's the case. I don't have any official word for that, but
But I was
if
sure
that
that
is-
the DayZ Twitter account had said that'll never happen cross-platform.
if that's what they officially say, I mean, that's kind of what we have to go on. I'm just going off what a friend of mine who isn't working for Bohemia said. So that's not the most accurate information.
Yeah. And I know they're still punch drunk from whenever they've made commitments in the past. They could just be saying that and pull a Swifty on us and release it. You know, I still in the back of my mind, I know they said there'll be no choppers in vanilla. I'm still expecting the day when they release official choppers in vanilla.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I'm excited because I really want to do BR on consoles as well. Whether or not it can be, as easy as just repacking the mod so it goes on consoles, or it's a complete rework again. Either way, I'll be happy because it'll be a whole new platform to work with.
Pittman's just said they should not do that in chat. Do you want to expand on that, mate? But yeah, it'll be interesting nonetheless, hey, Brim?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be interested to see what Pittman actually means there, but I'm going to go ahead and just assume he's talking about the whole cross-platform idea. For me personally, I would love to see cross-platform, but I think cross-platform is such a difficult thing to do because you're never going to please everyone. But I think there's going to be times when there's going to be features that aren't going to work, that just simply aren't going to be right for one platform, that do work and are right to be put on a different platform. So I think if you can also, a lot of games that do cross-platform, they have it so you can turn it off. Like for Call of Duty, for example, for Warzone, you can turn off cross-platform. So you're only being obviously matched in a game with people of your platform choice. And I think giving people the choice is the best way to go. Like, implement it, have it as a setting. If people want to play it, they can. If they don't have to. And it just puts it down to personal preference then. And then at the end of the day, if you want to sit and bitch and moan about, I got killed by a PC player today, it's like, well, you had the setting on to go cross-platform. Change your bloody settings. It ain't that difficult.
Pittman likes what you said there. Well, if it's a choice to cut it off, that's a different thing. And again, like you were coming to earlier, Keegan, it's all about choice. If people want to do it on their server, they can do it. If they don't want it on their server, they can turn it off.
Yeah, I agree with the cutoff as well. Like, if we do have DayZ Battle Royale for console and PC, I don't think that any matchmaking system would just ignore what platform they're on. I think giving them the choice to say, I only want to match with other console players, or I only want to match with other PC players, I think that's fair.
The last topic is not DayZ related. As far as I know, the guy has never played the game, but we cannot not mention the whole Twitch ban drama with Dr. Disrespect. Love him or hate him, he's not my cup of tea, but I still respect the guy for the character, the devotion to his character. But yeah, he's been banned permanently from Twitch.
Yeah, I mean, I alluded to it there at the bottom of the channel there. I put the word permanently in parentheses there because I think we've all seen people getting quote unquote permanently banned and what have you, and throwing cats and nip slips and God knows what else hasn't killed people off. So yeah, exactly. So I give it a couple of weeks. He'll be back, rocking, rolling. Everything will be fine again. But from what I understand, from what I've seen, and again, this is just essentially speculation. I've got no insider knowledge. I don't represent Dr. Disrespect or Twitch in any way, but from what I've seen, it's something to do with when he was unfaithful to his wife a couple of years back. He had a one-night stand, it would seem, with a female Twitch streamer, So whether it is to do with that or not, I'm not sure. But I mean, like I say, when Twitch says permanent ban, I mean, unless it's for something, horrific, like they've got proof of someone doing something they shouldn't, that's horrific, like rape, murder, things like that. Anything else, I think, is pretty much just going to be thrown to the side. When you're someone the size of him, the amount of money he must make Twitch, then they're not going to want to get rid of him anytime soon. Not for an actual, permanent basis anyway.
I've got a tweet up that my son sent me earlier today from a guy called Mr. Anti-Bully, otherwise known as Mr. Medicure, who's been banned on a hell of a lot of platforms because he's a rather edgy guy. But I didn't realise effing someone was against Twitch policy, though it does explain a lot about their staff. And this is a Reddit post that was out there, which no one can guarantee the authenticity of, but a Twitch HR staff member here can't post anything linking to my work or I'll be fired. Guy, which is Mr. Dr. Disrespect's first name, was permabanned and his contracts are being cancelled and reworked as we speak by our lawyers. Guy was. This was due to his past cheating statements made by him. What you don't know was that he cheated on his wife with a major female Twitch streamer during TwitchCon. We were aware of this prior to his announcement of said cheating by the female Twitch streamer and have been quietly protecting that streamer to keep her happy, as Guy has made our chief financial officer and Amazon very, very happy. She recently contacted our office to say she wanted a better deal than what we provided, and we refused, opting to remove Guy before she made her proof known. We expect the female streamer to make a large public statement on social media very soon, while Guy has his lawyers keep in contact with us during all of this. See, I don't know how much veracity I put in this statement. To me, it seems like a bit of a female-hating statement, very, very cleverly worded, with the whole, it may be true, but if she has tried to renegotiate whatever terms there were, well, she's a very, very silly girl. But it seems like, I just don't know. I don't know if Twitch would protect someone that much, especially in today's day and age. Like, this was only a year or so ago when he had this issue happen, wasn't it, Keegan?
Yeah, it was like a year and a half, something like that.
And I just don't see them putting themselves out there on a limb to protect him. Like, I know he's massive and all, but I don't know. What do you think, Keegan?
I've read a bit about it, but an old Arma 3 modder that I follow on Twitter works for Twitch now. He even tweeted out. He was like, "Look, guys, you're PMing me about this. I won't talk about anything that could put my job in jeopardy." That was his tweet.
Yep.
And I was like, I've never seen anyone from Twitch, because I know 3 or 4 people that work at Twitch now.
Yep.
I've never seen any of them talk like that about anything that's ever gone down there. So it seems like it's something that Twitch doesn't want to announce yet. Whether or not it's something that they have to work with lawyers about before they can say anything. That's what I think. But there hasn't been any official word, and a lot of times people will just make up things on the internet just to try to get likes and retweets and all that.
I have no doubt it's Me Too related. They've recently said, in light of all these accusations that are coming out against, someone who was a big DayZ player, Pro Syndicate, Mr. Moon got his break through him, but they've said that they are going to start banning people based on stuff that happens outside of this. But I don't know. This is probably about as political as I'm going to get. No, it's not really political, but as well, whatever the word is. But unless someone's convicted in a court of law, I don't think they've got any. Unless that person comes out and says, "Yes, I did it." But even then, he cheated on his wife. It's a shitty thing to do, but to get banned, it makes me think there's more to it. It
It was so long ago. Twitch already kind of took action on it. Like, it wasn't, at all something that people really recognized just because of how it all went down. But I couldn't imagine that they would just magically retroactively apply a permanent ban on someone
Yeah.
that it was so big of a streamer. Unless something new came out or
That's what my money's on.
Twitch. That, I mean, yeah, I honestly think it was something different. I don't think that something that happened a year and a half ago is going to be the reason that they're now banning one of their top streamers.
Look, if he cheated on his wife once, who's to say he hasn't done it again? But yeah, I don't think it's related to that. I agree with you, Keegan. I think it's something completely new. And he's probably admitted it to them or whatever, and they've just cut the ties to, yeah. But again, I do worry about them banning people for stuff that's not related to the platform.
Yeah, I mean, even reading that, they seem to contradict themselves. I mean, it says he was perma-banned and his contracts are being cancelled and reworked as we speak by our lawyers. So from the way I interpret that might not be the same as someone else, but the way I interpret that is his current contract that he's been on up to this point, they have now gone, right, bollocks to that, we're throwing that out the window, but now they're going to rework it. So it would seem to me that they're killing off his current contract, and they're just going to rework it, move it around, and basically adjust his contract. So it doesn't look like he is perma banned. It looks like it's, from what they've said here, or what's been put by that on that Reddit post, is that they're simply adjusting it. But at the same time, like you say, if what he do at the end of the day, what he does with his private life, as long as he's not, clearly a known, drug kingpin or fucking serial killer or something like that, flopping your knob around the place ain't really enough to get fucking banned off Twitch, surely, unless he's doing it on stream. Like, it just seems daft. And it does almost seem like the way that it's worded is that, the female that he had that affair with, or that one night stand with, has simply, tried to negotiate a better deal with herself, in a sense of blackmailing almost. Saying that I want a better deal because I've got some dirt on Dr. Disrespect or something, which surely, that can't be the way to go about things.
Like Mobby says, none of Twitch's business, full stop, what people do. But what is some of our business is I've just moved someone into the channel, and it's my good mate, Moonshine. How you doing, buddy? Oh, he's AFK. Oh, no, there he is. Can barely hear you, mate.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, that's much better. Moonshine, how you doing, buddy?
Hold on for can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can't hear you, actually.
I can hear you loud and clear, Moonshine.
All right, now.
Now can you hear us?
Yep.
Hey, there we go. Moonshine is one of my long-time supporters, and I've known you fucking how long now, Moonshine? 2-3 years?
Since 6'2".
0.62. So probably more like 3 years then. Yeah, 3 years. And Moonshine, I'm going to let you tell us your story.
All right. Probably October of 95, I lost my dad with cancer. He battled for a little over a year with that. Then when a youth trip with some kids, other youth, I went to a ski resort, really to get my mind off my dad, and actually had a skiing accident that left me paralyzed roughly from the belly button down. That was December the 22nd of 95. Spent about a week or two in the hospital, then rehab. Got out there in March from the rehab, and never really got depressed from her or anything like that. She just got to keep on going and stuff like that. So I actually, by May, I was back in school so I could graduate with my classmates. went on to go to Marshall University and graduated from there. And that's I had a cubitus ulcer form on my tailbone then. What happened was I fell out of my wheelchair when I was trying to get a bucket of water to my dorm room, and cracked my tailbone and had no idea. An infection set in and basically ate up around the spine instead of coming out. But then that never did heal, but we dealt with it. My skiing accident actually occurred because a boy on a snowboard cut in front of me, and instead of instead of hitting the guy, I swerved to miss him and went off a 10 to 15 foot embankment and landed in a creek bed on my back. Years went by, and here within the past, I think 3 or 4 years, isn't it, Mom? About 3 or 4 years, my been dealing with a lot of wounds and infections. Started out on my left and right hip. Um, Come to the conclusion what it is from when I had my skiing accident. I had a fractured hip and a dislocated hip, and they didn't fix it. They said if you get your feeling back, we'll go and fix it. So all these years later, that was back in '95. Finally, what has happened is bacteria has deteriorated my hips. So basically, I have 80-year-old hips, and bone is breaking off and eating its way out of basically from inside out of my on my hips. I went in April with it, Mom. I was back in the hospital because we had a little wound that broke open on basically my left butt cheek. And come to find out, when they went in and cleaned it out, it was clean up to the hip bone from there. And it was because of the same reason the bones and stuff were eaten out and causing an infection. Well, I went last Thursday and got my central line out because the blood work looked good and stuff. Last Friday, I ran a low grade fever that quick. Went in this Friday, got my central line back in. Came home yesterday evening and found out that the wound grew, culture grew, basically, that the medicine that they have me on, it won't fight it. So they've got to do another culture and try to figure out if what kind of medicine they can get to kill this bacteria. Um, it's pretty when it start, and it's a form of staph, but it's I can't remember. It's like vancomycin.
More aggressive, basically.
Yeah, like not quite MRSA, but almost MRSA. So basically, the past since last Friday, I've been off and on fever and stuff like that. So it's like I'm hot 1 second and freezing to death the next second.
So basically, you've had a pretty bad run, mate.
Well, it's been rough at times, but you just got to keep on going. You play the deck the hand has given you each round.
See, the part of the reason why you two are probably sitting here wondering, okay, that's a horrible story, but why have I got him in? Now, for 3 years, I've known Moonshine, and I had no fucking idea it was this bad. In my mind, I pictured him as just a guy who had a bad back sort of thing, and hobbled around a bit, but was still able to get out, because he tells me he goes hunting all the time. Moonshine, tell him how you go hunting.
We actually transfer. We got a set of ramps that my brother helps wheel me up in the back of the truck. We strap down. When I'm actually deer hunting, we've got a building that I can get into that they actually built me. But when I bear hunt also, they strap me down on the back of the truck. Of course, the last 3 years I haven't been able to get out and do that because with the pneumonia that I got, they didn't want me to be out, and because I got it like in October, and they didn't want me to be out in the weather with it. And then with the wound vac that they put on me when I'm dealing with these wounds, it'll actually freeze up and won't work. So I haven't been able to actually hunt for the last few years. But that's how since '95, when the family would get together to play softball, I'd get out and play. I would get out and hunt, fish, do whatever I wanted to do. We'd adapt and overcome.
And fucking kudos to you, man. Like, Brim is pretty. You sit there and you have bad luck yourself, but there's always someone out there who is doing a lot tougher than you, isn't there?
Yeah. I think we're all having a bit of a shit time at the moment, but I think it's very important to remember and recognise that there are other people out there that are struggling a bit more, that have had a bit more of a crap hand dealt to them, so to speak. But the fact that it sounds, Moonshine, like you're not letting it get to you, and everything's sort of still on the up and up, so to speak, and like you said yourself, you're just sort of soldiering on, and getting on with life. I think that's a brilliant way of doing things.
What I'm going to be doing is pretty much get to speak with someone who knows more about this sort of shit than I do, and identify a gaming laptop. Not an all singing, all dancing one, even if it's a second-hand one or whatever. But at the moment, Moonshine plays DayZ a bit, quite often runs with me, but he's playing on a 10-year-old gaming laptop.
Yeah, it's an Intel Core i7, 1.73 gigahertz.
What graphics card does it have in it?
The graphics card is an AMD Mobility Radeon HD 5800 series.
I have no idea what that is. Brim, do you know?
No, I think I'm just as much of a boomer as you when it comes to that, but it sounds old as fuck.
Keegan, you'd probably know. Is that old?
I don't know. It's
You don't know?
older than my time.
It's so old, none of us have got a clue, so that just kind of goes to show, really.
So yeah, I'm basically going to be having a fundraiser up, and until we achieve the goal, pretty much everything I earn is going to go towards getting Moonshine a new gaming laptop. Just because, why the fuck not? He's a good bloke. He's always been fucking here for me, and if that's the least I can do to help out someone who's always been there for me, yeah. So I'll have a little goal thing popping up on the stream, and hopefully in the next few months, mate, we can get you a new gaming laptop.
When you wrote that to me, well, actually, I put it.
Oh, Moonshine.
It's just amazing. Like, I didn't even know what Twitch was, and I found a YouTube video,
Yep.
and they were talking about Twitch, and I got on there, and I didn't realize just how close I would get to a lot of their streamers and meet new people that I can call really closer friends than what you see in your community at times.
A lot of people say that, all us us nerds, as we were saying in chat before, that we need to get out and, make real life friendships. You know what? I've had real life friendships. The people I've met, like you, like Brim, Keegan, maybe down the line, you or me, bro. But I've made some of the best fucking friends. Like the one, he scares the shit out of me because he's a cheeky fucker, but I call him a friend. I call him an IRL friend. And that's what friends do for each other, Moonshine. We help each other out. And if me playing silly video games and talking shit about fucking DayZ and stuff like that is something we can do to help out a friend in need in this community. I'm not the only person who's ever done this, mate. There's been some great fucking shit. Like, I think it was last week I talked about it as well with the boys. Mr. Blackout and his community helped fly one of the closest friends of another member of his community to New Zealand to go to the funeral of her best friend that she'd never met IRL. this sort of shit, mate, you know, you mean a lot to me, bro. And if this is something I can do to help someone out that I care about, fuck yeah, I'll do it, mate.
I appreciate it.
You're more than welcome, my man, more than welcome. Hopefully we can get there sooner rather than later, but as long as it takes, mate, we're going to get you a new gaming laptop so you can actually play He fucking plays DayZ at the moment. And, like, I don't know if you saw it before when I went to that Camp Hope place on the server. We were driving in there because we were moving stuff out. I would drive in and I would be out and already in the base and getting more loot. And Moonshine said he was about 40 seconds behind me with what was appearing on his screen, just because the lag was so intensive on that base. It just bogged him fucking right down and he couldn't fucking see shit. And I was like, man, I got to do something. And then it was only this week I found out just how bad his health was. And I was like, man, I've done fundraisers for people that, for organisations that the people in my chat don't know shit about. But Moonshine's one of my mods. Moonshine's always in here, always chatting. I don't think he missed hardly a stream of mine, mate. So if this is something that not just me, I was saying that, and that's a bit arrogant on me, but not just me, but the community that I've got around me, if we can help you, mate, I'm certain everyone will do what they can to help. Might only be $5, but will take some time. And like I said, just by resubscribing, scaring me with fucking alerts or everything, all of that's going to go towards it as well.
That's absolutely amazing that you're doing this for me.
Why wouldn't I, bro? Why wouldn't I? I could be a dick. But yeah. And Foxy, thank you for the gift sub, mate. That'll help go towards this as well. Guys, is there anything that we've missed?
I don't think so. I mean, I know normally we'll do like a sort of a content of the week, if you like.
Oh,
sort of, you know, if we've all seen anything that we thought was worth mentioning and giving a shout out to.
Okay, there's one. I'm going to start it off this week. Dewan, watch my amazing comparison video. Can you post it again, Dewan? But a video that I wanted to talk about. Now, I didn't actually get to watch it. I meant to, but I kept on forgetting about it. But I'm wondering if anyone else watched it. Minder had a video recently. Does it come up? There it was. DayZ expansion is a massive success. Or is it? Did anyone watch it?
No, I've not seen that.
No, I haven't.
Okay, I've got to check that one out because, yeah, mine is usually on the ball with stuff, but I'm hearing nothing but good things for the most part about the expansion mod. So many servers are running it, but I know there are bad sides to it. I know, like the server I play on, DayZ Down Under, hasn't put it in because there's so many aspects of it that aren't really compatible with a hardcore DayZ server. But we'll quickly watch the one's video. It's 1:23. Gotta love Australian internet.
Hello survivors, today you're going to see DayZ running completely on a new technology. Before we get into it, let me just say that this is a really exciting time for both us and our fans. For a quick comparison, let's just see 0.62 and 0.63 footage right next to each other. While the improvements in 0.63 are already noticeable in the video, the biggest difference is when actually playing. To get rid of clunkiness of movement in DayZ, we've implemented a completely overhauled system that can now blend animations together. This large technology change ultimately makes DayZ a modern, fluid and responsive game, something fans, and us included, wanted from DayZ for a very long time. To finish the devlog, let's take a look at the animation.
It's pretty fucking accurate though.
Oh my god. Oh, the one. You make me laugh, mate. I'll pay that. I'll pay that. And Pittman's kind of right. This is not the game it should be. Keegan, did you have anything you watched or saw or anything you want to promote or?
So there's yesterday, it's just something small, but I looked at the DayZ modders Discord quite often.
Yep.
This one guy created a crown for a hat. I thought that was one of the funniest things I'd ever seen. I could just imagine setting up a server. Have you ever played Reign of Kings?
No.
Okay. Reign of Kings was a fun game, but I have a friend who played it way more than me. If he could have Reign of Kings, he would be content with playing that game for the rest of his life. But I thought it'd be so funny to see a server use this crown and actually have a king for the server, and he gets the crown and all that. I thought that'd be the funniest thing.
Yes, I totally. And again, you're touching on the mods are just opening it up so that you could do anything. Yeah, you could have it. The people vote on the king, and people saying I'm a veteran of the game and I would not play that kind of mod. I know, mate, but that's the beauty right now. There's servers to cater to everyone's desire. But I can see the shits and giggles. Like I think it was last week or the week before, Brim, where I talked about the lightsaber mod. It looked fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And that little clip that guy did to promote it. Oh, fuck, that was funny as.
Yeah, new random mods like that are just they just bring a little something to it. Like you say, there's so many servers out there now with the community servers and the modding and what have you, that there literally is something for everyone at this point. So I think it can be a bit of a pain in the ass to try and find the right one. It is very much trial and error of going through a lot of servers and figuring out what you like and what features they have and don't have and things like that. But like I say, we are literally spoilt for choice at this point, and there's no better time for it.
And I try a lot of other servers, and I always end up back on good old DayZ Down Under. No matter how much I stray, I always end up coming back home to my old faithful girl DayZ Down Under. It's my server. It's the one I love. It's DayZ the way I like to play, hardcore, and yeah, it's what I like. I can value the rest of it. I do dabble in the other servers, but DayZ Down Under has pretty much nailed what I want in a DayZ server. So yeah, but Brim, what about you for content, mate?
I'm going to go ahead and share the link in the Twitch chat, if it will let me.
Yep.
There we go. My push to talk button doesn't like me holding it while I'm trying to copy and paste. But that is actually last week's guest, Don Sibley Games. He has put a video out. It's about just shy of 13 and a half minutes long, and it's checking out Fubar Bundy's server.
Yep.
And he actually bumps into the Alan and has a bit of a laugh and what have you. And it's just a fun, typical Don Sibley video. It's just a good laugh. It's just a great little video.
He's a very entertaining guy. The spotlight I did with him was a lot of fun, and he's got such a pedigree as well to him. Working with, I think it was Tom Green. Got to meet him IRL as well, and he's such a character. Yeah,
and he seems like such a chill bloke as well. From speaking to him obviously last week and checking out some of his videos, I actually jumped into one of his streams a few days back and just lurked and chilled out for a bit. He's got such a chill vibe. You can't help but sort of kind of sit there and really enjoy, being able to just chill out. And I mean, let's be honest, that's what we all do. That's what we all want from watching a content creator. You want to be able to just stick it on, chill out, have a relax, have a cup of tea, have a smoke, have a vape, whatever it is you do, and just relax. That's that's what we do. That's just humans for you. And I think he's literally perfect for that.
He is. He's a really genuinely nice guy, and he is a fan of the game. He promotes it. I know he's been doing Spaggy's Run Dive Retry on console, which is a fantastic event. If you're ever looking for an event idea and you need one in a hurry, reach out to Spaggy. He's more than happy to let other people run it. And it is one of those events as well that is fantastic for getting people, particularly on run, die, retry, DayZ, particularly on servers which are faction based. It's great in that it makes people link up with people they've probably never spoken to, people they may be from another faction, and they've got a war with, but they have to team up. You have to team up with the first person you meet. Welcome to one of the oldest and stupidest unevents to not very often be run on DayZ. Everyone is fresh spawn, server is clean, team with the first person you meet. Do not use TeamSpeak to arrange meetups. Admins will monitor. If you don't meet someone, go to speed dating and trading posts. You must pair with the nominated partner of speed dating. So you basically have to go from one location to another, unless you find a partner along the way. And it enables, backstabbing and, two people meet another two people, they end up in a fight and they kill one from each, then those two could continue and fight, or they could say, well, my partner's dead, your partner's dead, you want to team up? And the goal is to get to the radar at Tizzy and be the team holding the roof at midnight. It's the same every time, but yeah, it's a great idea. It's a great idea. Very simple event to run, and yeah, highly recommend it. I'll put the link in channel if anyone wants to. But yeah. Guys, thank you all so much.
It's been a blast as always.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Keegan, good luck with the mod, mate. Keep us updated. I don't revoke your permissions, mate. So I've had people jump into the stream before and all the rest of it. So you're welcome to do that, mate, if you ever feel there's something you want to update us. Otherwise, you can just post a link in the podcast agenda channel with any updates you'd like us to get out there to people. When I'm not a lazy arsehole, I do upload these to YouTube as well, where it gets a few more views. So yeah, all the best, mate.
All right. Well, I'll definitely keep you up to date.
Yeah, please do.
So, yeah, I've had a lot of fun.
Thank you
I'm gonna
very much.
Yeah, I'm going to hop off. It was nice getting to talk to both you guys.
Thank you very much, Keegan.
Yeah, take care.
Take care, mate.
And all the best, Brim.
You too, mate. I'll catch you in the near future.
And just quickly, don't forget, people, Brim is sponsored by That Tech Store. So in the link to the video, when I post it on YouTube, and you can post it in chat if you want to as well, Brim. If you're ever looking for some epic gamer stuff, definitely check out That Tech Store. They ship worldwide, don't they, mate?
They do, yes. They do ship worldwide, and they've actually just released a couple of new products as well, including a new, brand new streaming microphone. With the full setup. It's USB plug and play, so there's no messing about with installing drivers or extra software to take up space. So yeah, definitely worth having a look at.
High-speed 4-port for HD. I probably need one of those. My one's pretty shit that I've got to expand mine, but yeah. Okie dokie, folks. Put a link into the chat there, mate, but all the best, and I will see you next week, buddy.
You certainly will. Enjoy the rest of your week, mate.
Will do, mate. Ciao for now.